Well, we got maybe the most surprising news that I can remember, honestly. It's been a long time since I was this, like, kind of shocked by what we heard, and we'll talk about that, but it has to do with FC26. We've got that to talk about, plus, like, some initial FUTTIES leaks that aren't that interesting, but there's some players leaked for FUTTIES already, so we'll kind of discuss that stuff and a few other random bits of information and stuff like that. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You could use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, of course. And also, if you leave a comment on this video, I will reply to it on my second channel. No matter what it says, it will be read on the second channel. So, but okay, I guess we'll start with like the content stuff, because I know that it's easy to look at the negatives right now, right? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the negatives right now a little bit, and I think, unfortunately, it does show us a little bit of where they think the state of the game is at right now. You know, for example, this 93 plus 1 of 3 TOTS shapeshifters, our road to the final winners player pick, came out today, and do they not understand how many team of the season cards that there are? Like, do they not get that? You're not gonna get like anything besides probably 1 out of maybe 25 people are gonna see a road to the final winners player in this pick. Like, there's so many 93 plus team of the season cards that you're just not gonna see one of these. Because when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense if it's a gamble pick, because they want you to have to like really try and work for those better players that you can get in this player pick. No, it's repeatable once a week. I was like, okay. At that point, it shows you EA just I don't think have like a full grasp on what people's teams look like. And maybe I'm a sucker here. Maybe that's just strictly for the casuals, and the casuals right now are loving all this stuff, and maybe that's the case. And not to repeat myself, like I think I did maybe 2 videos ago or whatever, when we talked about some of this cup stuff, but we have another Evo from the cup, and it's a max 3 playstyle plus card. It doesn't give you the 4th once again here. You know, it's just, I struggle to get sort of why. You know, just the why aspect of much of this content. For a long time, I've struggled to understand why. I will say though, Manuel Neuer, they purposely gave him controlled lengthy. At least I think they did. They made his agility and balance a little bit lower here, 90 and 91. I think that was on purpose to give him controlled lengthy. So he's got a slight bit of lengthiness, plus like, you know, great stats and play styles here. So Neuer is gonna be very good, I guarantee you. Aerial plus, rapid plus, ping pass plus, low driven, sure. I mean, first touch base, so I can actually use him. Trickster fake shots, like, he's gonna be a good ass card. So if you guys have used Neuer, let me know if you guys have actually liked him, but I can guarantee you he's gonna be at least half decent. But yeah, we are, you know, we're what, 1 day or 2 days away from FUTTIES actually beginning, and yeah, it's hard to know just some of the thought processes behind some of the decisions we've seen over the last, like, I'd say 2 or 3 months, probably specifically. But okay, we'll get into the most surprising news I think we've seen in a long time. I know we just had Zlatan leaked to be an icon potentially, and that kind of opened the door for him to be in FC, right? Because it was basically a foregone conclusion he was never going to be in this game. But not only is he going to be in FC next year, he's going to be the cover star for the Ultimate Edition of the game. So this now guarantees Zlatan will not just be in testing, he's going to be in next year's game. He's a cover star. If you guys don't know why it's so weird that he's going to be in the game next year, is because of his series of tweets he had being very critical of EA, and we'll talk about that in 1 sec again. We'll actually show it to you, but the point here initially is just that he's going to be the cover star of the Ultimate Edition. So this to me, once again, does kind of show that they're going the extra mile to make you excited for next year's game, right? Because I kind of, once again, sound like a broken record here, but they really are focused on making you think about pre-ordering next year's game more than anything, because last year, if you guys don't know, the pre-orders were down. They do not want that to happen again. They had to explain to their shareholders why the pre-orders were down. They made a mistake with that, and now they're really trying their best to not have to do that. Last video, we talked about how there's going to be a pre-order promo, which, what does that even entail? I have no idea. But Zlatan, the cover of FC, is something I never thought I would ever say. That definitely is the most surprising news, I think, since we've been covering this channel. Not that people even care about the cover star really anymore, but just the fact that he's okay with being on the cover and gonna be in the game is crazy. If you guys don't remember word around at the time, he was tweeting out about, like, I don't get why they're using my rights when I didn't give them the okay to use my likeness in the game. Now, honestly, he actually was kind of in the wrong here, because I think like the FIFA Pro license is a big reason why certain players, if you sign a contract, can be used in this game. So Zlatan, I don't even think was like in the right here, but he basically was wondering like, why are they making money off of my likeness when I'm not doing or not getting any part of the credit? So it was a bad relationship for a while, and this went on further than this, just one tweet as well. So just crazy how much money talks, right? You know, the biggest thing here, money talks more than anybody, anything you could say to anybody, doesn't matter, right? Money is clearly the language EA speaks, right? So no matter what, there's always a price tag on pretty much everything. So yeah, that's the news that was pretty shocking, at least to me for sure, I think to most of the community, because that does confirm that he's going to be in next year's game, right? And this was the leaked like card for him. I don't get this one. Like, I don't get how Zlatan of all cards is not going to have Acrobat Plus. That is so confusing to me. Like, anybody with Acrobat Plus that you could possibly imagine that 100% fully deserves it would be Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and they give him Power Shot Plus, which is not like he doesn't deserve Power Shot Plus, but I don't know, kind of a strange decision there. We'll see if that ends up being his card, actually. And if I had to guess, they're going to advertise the shit out of this and also these other icon leaks we've seen for FC 26. I'm now more inclined to believe that most of them will probably be true. I know that already most of them probably weren't going to happen, but with how surprising this news is, I think this now confirms that like this coming FIFA will have the most new icons or heroes combined that we've seen probably in a long time. And we have a new hero coming up here in like a minute we'll talk about that is leaked to be in next year's game as well. But if I had to guess too, we'll see a baby Zlatan like this probably as some sort of card to get in the Ultimate Edition next year. That maybe it won't be release date, but later down the line you'll see this card. You can put them into Evos and stuff like that, just like the Jude Bellingham card that we got. But yeah, all 5 of these guys are leaked to be in next year's game. Now this makes me believe honestly that we'll probably see all of them. I think we might see literally every leaked card we've seen now. If you've been keeping up to date with the FC26 leaks, if I had to guess, we'll see almost all of them. And next up here, more FC26 stuff. We've got Ricardo Quaresma currently set to come as a hero in FC26. And listen, Trivela Plus is kind of a play style plus that is, I feel like, hard to give players. Yamal maybe might be the one that right now you'd kind of maybe sticks out as somebody who maybe deserves Trivela Plus. But if there's anybody in the history of football basically that deserves Trivela Plus, it's this guy. And whether or not Trivela's even good next year, I just always used to love watching Ricardo Quaresma. He was always my favorite player. Is really a decade. Wow, it was a decade ago. Yeah, it was 2015, 2016. That's 10 years ago. That makes you feel old. But actually pretty cool to see Quaresma probably being in next year's game. And I think this does seem to be a pattern now. EA want their, like, one of the features next year to be, hey, most icons and heroes ever added in FC history. But yeah, I don't know if they'll be this generous with this card. I think 85, you know, that makes the most sense there. But this does not look like an 85 rated card with these stats. The stats are all predictions right now, but I don't think he'll look quite this good on his base card, but still cool to see Quaresma. Trivela final boss here is what this guy said, and that's exactly correct, to be in next year's game. And okay, on to more like current news and stuff like that. First of all, Rolfo out of nowhere apparently is going to leave the club this summer, talking about Barcelona of course. So unfortunately, Fridolina Rolfo will probably be getting, which is my guess, an end of an era card, which I'm sure EA will do. But hopefully she goes to a club that is licensed in game next year, because Rolfo is, you know, very good in game. So I was kind of sad to see that, but I would keep an eye out for an end of an era Rolfo at some point coming up here over the next maybe like a week or two. Okay, on to some FUTTIES leaks here, and the first icon for FUTTIES we have leaked is Pele. And usually the check mark means that it's official stats, so I'm gonna assume that that's what it means, plus 99 rated as well. And if these are official stats, I think we're probably looking at the best card in the game, honestly, with technical, rapid, incisive, finesse, tiki-taka. I mean, it'd probably be pretty hard to get a lot better than this card. Him and Dino will be the 2 best cards in this game probably. And you guys know I like to say it, but don't look too hard, because you are not getting this card. I hate to say it to you, but this card will not be in your possession specifically. But damn, does he look good. So that was the first FUTTIES like leak we had, kinda. And then the second leak we had was these two guys, and that's going to be Anthony Martial and Reuter as well will be coming as FUTTIES players. And I just thought about the season pass, and also I forgot to mention that for the season pass, my video tomorrow will be out post the season pass coming out. I just realized now I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video, but that's how we do the season pass usually, is the wait till it comes out to go over it and then upload it right after. So just so you guys know about tomorrow. But my guess is like, you know, Reuter was very good last year. He was kind of like a FIFA legend in FC24. I wouldn't go quite as far as legend status, but he was like very popular last year. And Martial is just Martial, right? He's always been kind of a FIFA staple since FIFA 17, since he transferred to Man United. But those are our first two cards here, and I'm surprised to see us not have many season leaks at the moment. So if I had to guess, I would assume these two would be in the season, and maybe even Pele as well could be. There's a chance. I'd say it's less likely. What's more likely to me is this right here, like Mateus Cunha, Man United card in the new season, right? Like transfer cards, usually that's like a FUTTIES staple, is the transfer stuff. So Mateus Cunha here, 5 playstyle pluses, and Florian Wirtz, Liverpool, also 5 playstyle pluses, right? If I had to guess, we'll see 2 or 3 transferred cards in the season, and also many SBCs over the course of the 3, 4, 5 weeks of FUTTIES. But yeah, that's kind of all the leaks right now that we have in terms of FUTTIES stuff. Now on to some random stuff here. Ivan Rakitic has also retired at 37. Does he deserve a hero card, says Sheriff. And you know what pisses me off about Rakitic is that I used to love watching him like back in the day, 10 years ago now. Juventus versus Barcelona Champions League final was, yeah, like 10 years ago to a month ago. Wow, I really am getting old. But I swear Rakitic cooked us in that Champions League final, and his prime was pretty short-lived at Barca. I feel like it was only like maybe 2 seasons or so. I could be underrating that, but I feel like he just cooked us and then dipped. I don't know why that is. Like, he cooked Juve and then kind of was gone. But a couple seasons at Barca, he was awesome, and I definitely used to love watching him. But yeah, we could see end of an era Rakitic. We could see hero Rakitic next year, but I just wanted to report on that quickly. And actually, it wasn't, I guess, the last FUTTIES news, technically. So during FUTTIES, it's now confirmed that Greats of the Game will be a promo. We knew it was going to be, so I don't know why I said that, but I guess we thought maybe it got scrapped because it like didn't come with the women's path to glory, but it looks like it will be during FUTTIES. So that's, I guess, interesting, right? Because Greats of the Game last year was actually a pretty good promo. This Ruud Gullit card, there was this Zidane card. There were so many great cards last year that got upgraded along with, you know, the national team's performances. But yes, it's not canceled. Looks like it will be a thing during FUTTIES, which I guess I don't really know what they're going to do with that, but we'll see. And I showed you last year's card design, but here's actually this year's card designs. And it says Hazard card here, the hero, and then Bale, the icon, which they look great. The FUTTIES icons look great too. You know, I'm just ready for summer. I'm ready to like actually indulge in summer FIFA. I've been playing so little FIFA recently. I'm actually ready to like actually enjoy some of it right now. I don't know what you guys feel. Obviously, let me know in the comments. I'm going to read all of them. Yeah, it'd be nice to have like a repeatable, maybe 84-10 repeatable right now, because why not? Have a couple of good SBCs out there. Maybe drop an Eden Hazard SBC because fun. And also, I was seeing a bunch of tweets about Teo joining Al Hilal, right? So Teo, if you guys don't know, left AC Milan, joined Al Hilal. And I was seeing tweets like, oh my god, next year we're saved, no more Teo. I'm sorry, he is guaranteed to get 2 promo cards still. We are not saved from Teo Hernandez yet, not even close. He'll get downgraded a little bit, sure, I think, but he'll have the fuck you body type still. That body type, good luck with that. Plus now, yeah, links to Joao Cancelo, a couple more players in there maybe that he'll link to. We are not done with Teo Hernandez yet. If he's still French and now he's in the Saudi league, that means nothing. You're gonna have to kill Teo Hernandez. Well, not literally, but you're gonna have to personally ship him off to the 2nd Swedish division to get rid of Teo Hernandez. You're not getting rid of him. First promo of the year next year, Teo's getting a special card. And last bit of news here is a little bit of some sour news, actually. So the Brazilian league next year is, you know, they're really trying to, I think, work on getting it seems like. And right now, this Mateus Gamer tweet kind of highlighted a couple things. So first of all, evidence shows that FIFPro transferred 2.47 million to Fenepath, which I guess is basically the Brazilian version of FIFPro, I think. I might be wrong about that. But basically, they're trying to acquire the licenses, right? So they transferred the funds over, and all of a sudden, apparently Fenepath claims it did not sell the rights and that the amount received relates to a solidarity mechanism. That's a translation there. So there's just some weird shady shit going on. So maybe we're looking at, I guess, a less likely a chance that the Brazilian League may enter FC26. There's just some weird shit going on here. Apparently there's gonna be some like, you know, legal battles going on maybe. FIFA Pro was under the assumption that they could actually use these images and use the licenses, whereas FUTTIES, I guess, wasn't. I don't know. This is a translation, so it's hard to like read too much into this. But maybe the Brazilian League, don't count on it too much next year, I guess, if there's this going on now. But who knows? Just wanted to report on that quickly. And with the market, you guys know I kind of talked about how I think that FUTTIES will be pretty good in terms of making people want to sell cards, right? I think FUTTIES is going to be one of those promos that will just be better than what we've been seeing. So people will want to sell shit just to go and complete some content, whether it be SBCs, gamble picks, whatever. It's just going to be better than what we've been seeing. So that kind of will initiate some market crashing, I guess. Maybe crashing is the wrong word, but just some good selling in there, I definitely think will be the case. So I'd probably stay away from a lot of the cards right now. I think you probably want to sell right now. If you have a card like, for example, let's go find one that I think might be slightly overvalued, maybe even. Let's say Shapeshifter Sawa. She looks very, very good, but to 310k, say we get a lot of FUTTIES icons, a good FUTTIES SBC or two, I could see Sawa going down a little bit. I'd maybe just say, yeah, sell her right now on peak of maybe some Rivals demand is what I would say. And yeah, kind of the same stuff like down here. Maybe say like Rio Ferdinand. He's got 5 playstyle pluses, probably ignore that. But maybe Michael Owen, 433. I maybe want to sell him, I think. Just cards like that I probably want to get out of right now. Okay, let's read some of your comments now. We got Andre Sana, I want to say. Once again, I apologize. But basically, you're highlighting the fact that EA uses frustration to drive spending. And we talk about this a lot in the channel. If you're new around here, your username I haven't really, I don't think, seen before. So if you are new around here, you're exactly right. You're spitting with this. But I bring this up because this is kind of why I feel people are more empathetic towards people that believe in more conspiracies than maybe are even true, because EA tries to psychologically and emotionally manipulate you to get you to spend more money on this game. Like, we all know that. We all know that that is a practice, a business practice of them. So knowing where that ends and where like the manipulation ends and becomes incompetence, or manipulation ends and becomes, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, or does it all stay manipulation, right? I'm more sympathetic towards people that believe like in extra conspiracies, because this game is so manipulated and so almost purposely frustrating. Not like purposely frustrating in terms of they want to make a bad game, but it's designed to kind of be frustrating at times, and then once you're frustrated, make you spend money, if that makes sense. It's almost natural to feel frustration playing this game, and then once you do feel that, EA want you to then make the next step, which is like buy FC points. So that's where, like, me personally, I actually would probably believe in less conspiracies than maybe most people would. I definitely believe in some, which maybe is not even a good thing, but I definitely believe in less than some people do. But I'm definitely empathetic or sympathetic. I don't, is it empathize or sympathize in this example? But I definitely empathize with the people who think that like everything's tailored towards like them, because there is a lot in this game that is, I guess, manipulated, right? So it's hard to like know when that line gets cut off and when the manipulation stops and just the incompetence comes in, or is it all manipulated? Well, that's hard to say. And we got Play On Music, who says spam tackling, question mark, really? How about spamming Travellas? How about the high pressure and pressing with 2 to 3 players simultaneously and always have offside trap on auto? How about attackers steal the ball better than defenders? How about kickoff glitches? Hey, listen, when you talk about one problem, it doesn't mean that that's the only problem, right? If we talk about spam tackling, it does not mean that it's the only problem within the game. I think that they're actually, you know, I've seen arguments in my comment section, in just my comment section, my smaller channel, that people have said, like, I don't mind Travellas being good because we can score long shots. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can kind of see that, you know, like you kind of with the drop back and stuff, maybe you do want a way to score longer shots, right? This game isn't as drop back as it was, but if somebody's maybe intentionally playing that way, maybe you want to have a way to score that's somewhat like reliable, that you can somewhat count on if somebody's playing with a back 9, right? So I can see that. That's kind of a random side note, but the rest of things you're saying there, I do agree with that are problems. But if I do, you know, in the future talk about one problem, it doesn't mean it's the only problem, right? And this one down here, you know, I'm always of the opinion that, like, I think unique body type plays a huge part in certain attackers that are really good at defending. I do sympathize again slightly with EA here. Like if you have a striker and they, you know, say are not very good and they sprint with their center back, right? And they sprint and they take a huge touch and the striker's like right next to it. They should probably reliably get the ball, even with bad defending. So should defending like super matter then? You know, I get that like it's hard to code these things. Like for example, I'll ask you guys, like, would you rather the striker kind of was sort of oblivious on defense? I think the wingers too, right? There's like kind of oblivious on defense. Like they would kind of stand and let the ball right past them. The interceptions would be really bad. The tackles would be bad. Just let the ball like go right past them, or would you rather them like be competent somewhat in defense? You know, that's kind of an interesting question, I feel like, because would you rather have your attackers punish some mistakes that your opponent makes, or would you rather them sort of be an afterthought defensive wise? You know, it's kind of just a question I wanted to pose to you guys, because I don't really know what like the best in terms of fun, in terms of like rewarding gameplay, what the best decision would be for that. I don't really know actually, but yeah, leave a comment, I'll answer it. And I think that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for being here so much, and I love you all. Peace.